All right, so let's begin. So, good day, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on cybersecurity. Secure yourself, a simple approach. My name is Anthony Daly, and I'll be your host for the next hour. We're excited to have you with us today. Our agenda focuses on raising awareness about cybersecurity risk, educating you on best practices, and equipping you with practical steps to safeguard your organization. So the agenda includes, let me skip here. So firstly, we'll talk about understanding cybersecurity. We have a clip from the Beekeeper movie. I think most of you guys might know this movie. Some cybersecurity strategies, AI-driven cybersecurity, and why you should get our product, Cora. On the agenda continued, we have the future of cybersecurity, some case studies, our contact information, content QR code so you guys can scan, and the conclusion of our session. So now let's move along. But before we go ahead, we know that we have some participants here from various countries joining us today. So please take a moment to share which country you're joining from by typing in the chat. Okay, I see Jamaica. Okay, see USA. Okay, so it seems it's mostly Jamaicans. Okay, so before we get started, we'll have a few interactive polls throughout the session. To access the polls, once you're notified about an upcoming one, direct your attention to the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, just above this chat section. A pop-up question will appear. Simply click on it to submit your response. All right. If you missed the pop-up, guys, no worries. You can access the poll by selecting the activities button, also located at the bottom right-hand corner, marked by three icons, a triangle, circle, and a square. Once clicked, you'll see a list of activities. Choose the poll option, and the question will reappear for you to answer. All right. So now let's give it a try with our first poll. Let me go ahead and send this poll out. Okay, so the poll is live, guys. Go ahead and try it for yourselves. All right. All right. So thank you guys for your responses. We'll revisit these results later. Please note that you can ask questions throughout the webinar by using the chat feature as well, which will be answered in our Q&A section. Now, let's move into our presentation where we will be discussing what is cybersecurity, cybersecurity threats, and how ThinkNChange, powered by Cora, can be the solution for you. All right, now, so the first side, or overview. So let's face it, we live in a digital first world where businesses operate around the globe. So do cyber and so do cybersecurity threats, right? Attacks don't take weekends off, and no business, no matter how small or large or how off the radar it is, still is at risk to cybersecurity threats. That's why today is all about empowerment. We want to equip you with the awareness and confidence to secure what matters most, your data, your operations, and your reputation. So cybersecurity isn't just a one-time fix, it's a commitment, a mindset, right? And to truly stay ahead, you need more than just good intentions. You need smart tools, right? And simple strategies and unified strategies as well. That's where platforms like Quora come in. Instead of juggling dozens of solutions, Quora gives you one powerful, proactive, defense system. Because in cybersecurity, being reactive means you're already behind, right? But being proactive, that's what builds resilience. Now, move on to our next slide, guys. Up over. So before we dive into tools and strategies, let's take a step back and really understand what cybersecurity is and why it's crucial today. At its core, cybersecurity is about protecting the digital side of your business, right? Your data, your systems, your people, and your reputation. And in a world that's more connected than ever, those digital assets are constantly under threat. From phishing scams, ransomware, to insider threats and data breaches, the risks are all real, evolving, and they're relentless. But here's the good news. Understanding cybersecurity doesn't mean you need to be an expert. It means knowing the basics, staying alert, and using smart, unified solutions that make protection easier and more effective. Because in today's environment, cybersecurity isn't optional, it's essential, right? So, before we move on, let's take a quick detour. A powerful scene from The Beekeeper that I mentioned in the agenda. Now, this might seem like an action film, but watch closely, and I think most of us should be able to relate to this section.
Boss, got something? Yeah?
I got one.
I want it. I need it. United Data Group, good afternoon. This is Boyd. How may I help you?
Boyd. Hello, I just got a message saying that there's a problem with my computer.
Don't you worry. The message you received is from our United Data Group antivirus software. It's part of the software package that you pre-installed on your computer.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not a computer person. What did you say the name of your product is again?
Records show that you actually have an older version on your account. So what I'm going to need you to do is uninstall that and install the latest version.
I have no idea how to do that. My daughter set up everything for me.
What I would recommend, you take your computer to an IT specialist. However, keep in mind that you will lose all your data since they'll have to replace the hard drive.
I'm pretty remote out here. Everything I have is on the computer.
Okay. There is actually a software package that you can download that would allow me to reinstall remotely.
All right. Tell me what to do.
It's okay. Can you type this? friendlyfriend.net. Spelled just how it sounds.
Okay, I'm there.
And there should be a button on your screen that says install. And you click on that button.
I clicked the button.
So you're about to see some windows open close on your desktop as I reinstall the virus shield for you. The script, but not so much that you sound like a goddamn robot, all right? She has got 10K checking, life insurance annuity, Roth IRA, teacher's pension, and is a signatory on a $2 million. All right, kids, let the strip mining begin.
Ooh, my computer's going crazy.
Totally normal. Just do not touch your keyboard. Because of this inconvenience, I'm going to credit back your subscription fees. How about that? I've gone ahead and deposited $500 into the account ending 020.
Oh, that's not my account. That's an account that I manage.
Can you log into that account and verify the transfer, please, Ms. Parker?
Just hold on. Yes, there's a transfer for $50,000.
Set the hook with sympathy. Ms. Parker, I made a terrible mistake. I was supposed to credit you $500, but I know I got a stuck key here. I'm gonna lose my job here. I got kids.
Oh, I don't want you to get in trouble, but I could wire the amount back. I will need a different password, though. 1 second.
Now, this is the master password for all her accounts. Okay, so the second we get it, we zero out everything.
You know, I think I should call the bank.
You know what? You're probably right. But there goes my job. And there goes all your data.
My kids' pictures are on this computer. Okay. Hello? Hello, you still there? Uh-uh.
Now, I'm going to have a quick poll, guys. So you guys can look for that poll, launching it right now. So that was a pretty entertaining clip from the Beekeeper 2024. And I want you guys to, in that scene of the Beekeeper, right? What types of cyber threats were used to scam the woman? Let me see. All right. So if your answer was both A and B, that means you're correct. All right. Cool. So A and B, the answer is D. All right. So what is D? Phishing and social engineering. Cool. All right. All right. So now let's go ahead. All right. So up over to the slide. So I think and change, right? We're advancing cybersecurity through the power of AI. So this slide highlights how our AI-powered cybersecurity innovations are shaping how threats are detected and neutralized. So starting with AI and machine learning, our systems proactively predict and detect threats before they happen. This approach minimizes the risk of successful attacks by staying one step ahead of evolving tactics. Next, we use behavioral analysis to detect anomalies in real time. By understanding how users normally interact with systems, we can quickly identify unusual behaviors that may indicate a security breach and respond instantly. And lastly, our modular architecture. This allows for scalable and flexible security setups. As threats change, our systems can adapt without needing a complete overhaul. This means you get long-term protection that evolves with your organization. Together, these innovations create a robust, intelligent defense, reducing risk and increasing confidence in your digital infrastructure. Right? So the system I'm referring to, as I mentioned previously, is called Coro. Now, I'll dive into what Coro looks like and the various threats that it protects against. So now on your screen, you're seeing the overall interface of Coro, right? As I said before about the modular architecture, you can see each module. So we have the cloud security module, the email security module, endpoint security module, endpoint data governance module, user data governance module, mobile device management, EDR, the new security awareness training module that Cora implemented recently. We see Wi-Fi phishing, secured messages, and we have other disabled modules as well. Inbound gateway, secure web gateway, um, and the network module as well, which provides a VPN port. So now I'll start by going from top to bottom. So we'll start with cloud security first, right? So cloud security. The cloud security module has a various number of features, including access permission violation. So you get a ticket anytime someone violates their access or permissions, that is. So I want to give you guys an understanding of how the ticket works, because I'll be using that term a lot throughout this session. So firstly, how it actually works. So let's say your workspace is connected to Forum, and a user does a mass data deletion. What is this? What is a ticket? So Coro will generate a ticket for that specific incident, right? And provide you with all the details of the incident. So I'll use the access permission violation ticket for an example, or as an example. So now we see that a Feroz logged in from a different or a unknown IP address, or an IP address that is not marked as allowed, right? So he logged in from that location. A ticket was instantly generated to notify MSP administrators that, hey, this is actually happening. MSP administrator. So who is your MSP administrator? It could be someone from your IT team or someone from our IT team, right? Who is managing the overall workspace of Quorum. So that MSP administrator will get that ticket. You'll be notified, of course, via email or any other notification route that he had set up or was previously set up. We see that we have details of what was done while being logged in right here. And it can show you all the other activity logs of what else happened throughout the timeline. Okay, all of these details of the file. Cool. So now we are able to take actions against this user from just the overall workspace of Core, from here, from this exact position. So we can reopen the ticket if the ticket is closed, right? So right now the ticket is closed, so we are able to reopen it. We can suspend the user from all cloud apps, everything. We can suspend the user from Google Workspace, which is our workspace that we currently use. So we can suspend them, and they wouldn't be able to access the account any longer until the MSP administrator is through with his or her investigation and concludes that, hey, this isn't a big of a threat, and moves on with it. So you can request the user to sign in to the cloud apps, sorry, and request the user to sign in to Google Workspace. Contact the user and unlock and remove from audits, right? If you want to. We normally keep these audits just to backtrack a little when we need to. So we have a memory or a jot down of the previous incidents. So now let me go back. So the cloud security module provides monitoring and protection for your cloud drive or anything related to cloud, any form of cloud apps that you might be using. Let me go ahead and jump over to the settings of this specific module. So now, as I mentioned before, say, hey, Feroz was in a different location, or a user was in a different location that is specified or that is not allowed. So here is where we'd actually go to set those specific permissions. So as you can see, I can edit this and I can add the country that Feroz is currently in. After confirming with him that he is in fact in that country, then we can go ahead here to add them. We can also select if we want to automatically remediate these tickets, suspend or sign out whichever one works best for you. So you can select country or IP addresses. Now we just save that permission and we're over there. So these are all of the websites or applications that some of our users have previously logged onto. Core actually provides them with protection while utilizing these apps as well, or our websites as well. All right, so it's a chat, DeepSeek, CNN, all of that, and it gives you the amount of users that have been accessing these websites. Settings. This is where we go to set the period of which an employee or a user is marked as an inactive user, right? So we don't want any dormant users to not be to be marked as active. And lastly, let me jump right over there. The cloud applications that are able to sync with Core, or the ones that are able to be connected to Core. So now we offer Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, Slack, Dropbox, Box, and Salesforce. So any one of these applications that your organization is running can be connected to Core. All right, so now we can move on to the email security module. But before I move on, is there any questions in the chat that is regarding to the cloud security module? Okay, we don't have any questions there. So I'm guessing it's very simplified and straightforward for everybody. All right, now we move on to the email security module. So when we say email security, I think everybody knows what comes to mind. Say, hey, we protect against spam emails that come in, any suspicious content that is being sent to you, any episode. So some of the features include spam, suspicious content, suspicious metadata, user impersonation, blacklisted sender, brand impersonation, crowd blocked sender, domain impersonation, domain spoofing, forbidden attachment type, inbound gateway, MX record, misconduct, malware in email attachment, missing required authentication, and things that are reported by users. So there's a lot that email security actually covers. This is an API-based module, just like the cloud security module as well. So it's quick, easy, and simple to connect to. As soon as you connect the cloud application, then the email security module will be connected as well. You just go in here and you set up all the settings that you need. So now, as I said before, the tickets as well. All of Core is a ticketing system. So anything that happens, you will know about it. It doesn't auto remediate it and just like throws it out the door. It generates a ticket for you to always go back to, right? So from the permissions here, when you go here, so this is where you'd set up your permissions on what you'd like to happen in your specific workspace, what Quora takes care of and what Quora warns you about, right? So malware and email attachments, we can see that we can set this to one recipient or to just quarantine this overall. So why, if we quarantine it, that means the user doesn't even receive that email. As highlighted in the beekeeper clip, the lady wouldn't even receive that email if she was on board with Quora. So she wouldn't see that email at all. That would have just been quarantined and a ticket would have been generated for it. So the administrator knows, hey, this happened. All right. So it's the same thing for all of the other ones. Same thing for all the other sections or permissions, right? So remember I talked about blocking or quarantining by email attach or attachment type, sorry. So these are all the attachment types that I've set, but JS, exe, cmd, you name it. You can even create custom file types that you want to be locked as well. So none of these file types that are selected will go through or go past the email scan that Cora has. Right. So third-party security awareness training providers. This is where you can insert specific domains or emails that aren't gonna be scanned or are not gonna go to the security scan that Cora has set up, and they would just bypass that security scan and the emails go right through to your user's inbox. So any email from that from that specific domain would go right to, yeah, they wouldn't pass the security check. I won't go through that security check. We recommend this if you're very much like trustworthy in that person or that specific. If it's like a business partner, you work with these people a lot. You can see that we only have ThinkNChange because we want our users to have full access to send emails to everybody and not go through your checks, because sometimes you might be sending some kind of confidential information and Cora might say, hey, this is something that we should block, but you don't want that. So hence the reason why we put ThinkNChange as the only person to bypass this step. We can block the email from attachment, or sorry, not attachment, the subject line as well. And we can select if we want a dedicated suspected folder or system trash folder to send these emails or blocked emails. So the allow and block list, right? This is another thing like the security awareness training. So this is where we go to insert domains and emails to the block list, meaning these emails are blocked totally from sending emails to the users. So how you do this? You just go ahead here, click add to allow list, click add to block list, or you can either import a CSV file that you have pre-configured and just import it, and you're all up to date. So add-ins, this is a feature that utilizes the user's feedback. So let's say something happened, someone sent an email and the user is expecting that email and it's blocked by Cora. This feature allows those users to actually query that ticket so that you can check more and see, hey, if Cora was right on doing this or something. So the secure messages feature. So this feature is a secure gateway which provides end-to-end encryption for sending emails, right? So let me just give you guys a little brief example, show you how you guys how this works. Let me just hop back on. Let's jump to my email or my inbox. Share this tab. And let's say I want to email someone from my team. Let us click secure messages. First, let's get started by opening a conversation. Say hey, we want to message for Tony. Click here and say compose in document. Or whatever you want to know. I'm just gonna say, or as I said, test purposes or test. And then we get down here. There should be a pop-up. So let me check. All right, let's give this some time to load. Sorry about that. Oh, kind of. So I don't know it's good. Security messages for Gmail. All right, so it might be my internet, which is bugging out a little bit. I apologize. But yeah, I'll get back to that to give you guys a brief presentation. So I'll jump back to that in a moment. When my internet is working actively. So for now, let's jump to another module. Um, the endpoint security module. And this is a very, very, very important module because we want to safeguard all of our endpoints. And endpoints, when we say endpoints, we mean the desktops, the laptops, anything of that sort, right? PC, anything of that sort. So what this module provides for you, encrypted endpoint drive, device password missing. If you have that permission set up, you can know malware on the endpoint, scans for malware, Apple mobile file integrity disabled, that's for Apple devices, the development mode enabled, firewall disabled, protect against that, get notified, forbidden Wi-Fi connection, gatekeeper disabled, all of that. Now we have 11 devices connected. Shows you the amount of devices you have connected. You can view those devices as well. You can see all of these devices that are currently connected. We go back to the action board. And this section of the screen is called the action board, guys. Just remember that. The section where you see I hit this button right here is called the control panel. This is the action board, and this is the control panel. Okay. Good. Now we move on into the settings of this. So this is where we'd be able to set different policies for Coro to follow. So you can set any policy you want for any type of device, whether it's Mac OS or Windows devices. So see, we have a device password missing. We have various enforced or implementation or steps for that we could take to mitigate against this. Hence the reason why we have these set up. So any type of policy that you want, you can just go here, add to macOS or add to Windows, and follow that. Right. So now we go to next gen antivirus, or NGAV for short. I'll take a sip of water, guys. Sorry. I know it's get back into it. Now, next gen antivirus. So these are some of the things that we have enabled in our workspace. Depending on what you want, you can disable or enable any one of these, right? And you can set it to specific devices if you want to as well. So the thing with Coro, it enables you to have maximum customization. That's a good thing about it, because most of the products out there don't really have this maximum customization. You can customize anything, and when I say anything, anything at all, to fit your specific workspace, which is a great thing, right? And with the modular architecture, you don't have to be using all of the modules. So all of the modules that you see me naming, maybe your workspace doesn't utilize it. Like say for instance, you don't have a lot of endpoints, or you don't want to safeguard endpoints, then you don't have to get this module, right? It's not a complete package where you have to you have to take the package. No, you don't. You can even be using one module. Who knows? If you want to, right? So the first option that we have set up monitors active processes for known and potential threats and blocks processes that exhibit suspicious behavior while not being explicitly allowed listed. So that's what this section is protecting against. Any, when I say any processes, right? It monitors those processes on the endpoints, and if it detects with the same behavior analysis that you guys, which I previously mentioned, it detects and mitigates against it. So you're fully protected, right? So now, secured shadow backups. This enforces backup snapshots every 4 hours and blocks processes that exhibit risk to the backup. So what is snapshots, right? So snapshots is a thing that you'd set to take essentially pictures or a copy of your files. Um, so in the case of, hey, I lose some data, I can go back and actually recover that data. But for some people, they might not want to utilize this because they're saying, oh, I don't want my data to be stored and and everything. That's a risk in itself. But you don't have to enable this if you don't want to, right? We enable it is because we want in the instance something like that happens, then we have a nice setup or recovery so we don't lose any data and it doesn't affect our workflow. So we have oh, and remember I said that we can select this for specific devices, right? So if you have a set of devices that you want this to happen for, feel free to do so. So we have it for our Windows servers, personal devices, SPCs, Mac OS, Windows PCs, and we have a label called other devices, right? So quarantine infected container. So when core endpoint protection detects a malicious file inside a container, archive, and is enabled to extract it, it will quarantine the entire container. So any type of file at all that is suspected to have malicious content will be quarantined to this container or to this folder. Core will run some scans on it and then determine if this is very bad or anything like that. As I said before, you're able to set it for the specific devices or servers. So this now enable an initial malware and ransomware scan. So Cora enforces a malware scan of the devices when the agent is initially installed. Deeper scans can also be initiated remotely at any time. So upon, what this is saying, right, guys? Upon deploying the agent to that endpoint device, Coro starts to scan it immediately. Immediately. You click of a button and does deep scans to see everything that's happening, right? Once there is something that might pose a risk to your workspace, then you get that feedback from the ticket generation. And as I said before, you can set this for any type of device, like what we have right here. So allow and block this. So this is where you'd go to block this various processes from being operated, right? So as I mentioned before, or as mentioned previously in this section, any type of process at all that is set here, or processes that is set here to the block list or the allow list, then that process that determines if that process can be run or not on those endpoints. Wi-Fi phishing, what this is, detect connection to Wi-Fi access points that are suspicious of middle man in the middle attacks aimed at hijacking device communication. So what this means, right? Let's say we have the ThinkNChange network, and then we have someone set up a different ThinkNChange network or something similar to it, like same like phishing emails or something, someone pretending to be someone they're not. It's the same concept with Wi-Fi phishing, right? So they're essentially trying to get these devices to connect to that specific network so that they can hijack the device, download ransomware, download malware on it, anything, any type of thing, a Trojan horse, any type of a threat, right? So this is what this specific module or add-on would protect you against. So we don't want that happening to anybody, because mistakes happen, right? sometime. So it's best to have something to safeguard you against that. There is one mistake here. All right. So now we are coming down to the last few bits of modules. Um, as we're running out of time here, we have about 15 minutes to go. So I'll make these quick and simple, right? So endpoint, well, let's jump to user data governance first before endpoint data governance. Now, we know that in there are some new regulations like the Jamaica Data Protection Act recently, and other various compliances that are out there, right? So as I said before, Cora enables you to customize these things, right? So this module or specific module, user data governance, enables you to set policies and permissions in place to ensure that those specific compliances are adhered to, right? So non-public data, personal data, credit card data, all of that information is currently being monitored. So if, let's say, Brittany were to share some type of financial information, then Cora will generate that ticket, or using those policies or permissions that is set in place, you either block it or generate it. So it depends on what you customize the settings to be. So now we can see here, we go to do that, we select what we wanted to monitor, and we can even add more to this. We can add a lot more to this, right? A lot more. So protect against passwords, certificates, source code, specific file types as well, and specific keywords. All right. So now we go ahead. Let's go ahead. Permissions. We can see we can split these permissions to all of the users if we want to. It just depends on what you need. Include the keywords as well, as I said before. So now let's jump back to the action board and go over to endpoint device. So endpoint data governance. I'm sorry. So endpoint data governance. So endpoint drive with non-public data, endpoint drive with personal data, endpoint drive with credit card data, endpoint drive with health data. So these are all of the things that it currently monitors for the endpoint. So remember, user data governance is for the users, right? Endpoint data governance is on the endpoint. So what type of information is being downloaded and stored on that endpoint, then Cora would monitor that and determine a lot of things. Simple. So endpoint detection and response. So what this module is, right? Let me just name out the features. Persistence, command and control, credential access, defense evasion, discovery, exclusion, initial access, privilege escalation, right? So what does EDR mean? Endpoint detection and response. So these are various response mechanisms that Cora has in place for when certain things are being operated or certain processes are being executed from that endpoint, right? So we have our allow and block list for this as well. Right, cool. So that's pretty much it for that. for the security awareness training. So let's say for instance you guys get Quora, and you have some users that you want to give a security awareness simulation. Let me just put it at that. So a simulation. Let's say you want to, hey, let's test my users and simulate a phishing attack. What would my user do, right? So this module actually enables you to do that, right? Without Quora having to do any scams or mark it as suspicious. Because before this module was in place, I used to try to do those simulations, but Core would always pick up on it and block it, and I'd have to come in here and let it through and so forth. But it would still have a tag that, hey, it's suspicious, all of that. So that simulation kind of failed. But with this new feature that they added, right, this enables you to do that without any of those protections or anything, right? So you get this set up and you're all good to go. Right, so the network module now, this provides you with a secure VPN that provides site-to-site tunneling between two of your offices or any type of offices you have around the world. This is what this is for. Yeah, so that is it for the demo or showing you guys the overall workspace of Coral. Let me just jump back to the presentation. Right, so let me conclude. So why choose Coral, right? It's an all-in-one protection system, AI-powered automation. It's simple and scalable, cost-effective, unified, visibly, low maintenance as well. So those are some key things to Coro as to why you guys should get it. So think of that, right? You want something scalable, you're able to customize, and it actually grows with your business, then Core is the right thing for you. You want to maintain costs. Let's say you guys are on a budget, then you want to get something cost effective for sure, right? And something that's low maintenance. So as you see with all of the modules, you can even have one IT guy responsible for everything that you see there, right? So you don't have to get a whole, we're gonna hire a guy for cybersecurity specifically. No, you can just get one guy from your team. He does the training on Quora. Or if you don't want to do all of that, you just say, hey, someone from ThinkNChange to just manage this for you, provide you with reports on what's been going on so that you don't get buyer's remorse and you know what this is actually doing for you, right? So here is a free QR code, or a QR code, sorry guys, for you guys to scan so you can schedule a consultation. If you want to delve more deeper into Quora, or you want us to assess your environment to see how best Quora would integrate with your workspace. So I'm gonna leave it up there for a few minutes and you guys can scan that. In the meantime, I'll drink some water and a bit thirsty. All right, I think you guys had enough time to get that scan. So now the conclusion of this. So what are the key takeaways, right, from this session? So cybersecurity is a continuous process that requires vigilance and adaptation, right? ThinkNChange, powered by Quora, is committed to providing cutting-edge solutions that protect your business around the clock. Regular updates and patch systems, conduct frequent security audits, develop and test incident response plans, and also encourage a culture of cybersecurity awareness within your organization or the organization. So those are the things that I want you guys to remember moving forward. All right, so this is our contact information, guys. So you can reach out to us at contact us at thinkandchange.com. You can either go ahead and save our WhatsApp number, which is 126 2446140 or 1224 208 5463. Or you can just go ahead and jump onto thinkandchange.com and schedule a free consultation from there as well. So that is available to you guys. Any questions before we hop off the session? Oh, and let me just mention, if you guys want to reach out to me directly, you can reach out to me at Anthony, that's spelled with an E, so it's ANTHONEY .daily at thinkandchange.com. If you guys want a free a more deeper dive into core. All right. So thank you guys for coming, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.